Can y'all stop asking us to come to Africa? Underneath all of our videos, whenever we're speaking about something and speaking about what we're going through, here come y'all from Africa talking about, oh, come back to Africa. This is where you belong. This is your home in Mother Africa. You don't have to deal with that. Come here. We're not leaving what we have built to come over there with y'all. Y'all don't even want to be over there with your Mother Africa. Your mother treats you so bad that you want to leave her house to come over here and freeload in our house. Your Mother Africa loves you so much and takes such good care of you that you have to abandon her to come over here and live off of us. Why in the world would we want to go somewhere where the natives don't even want to be? You don't want to be in your own continent, but you think that we want to be there after we have worked and suffered and struggled to build this great nation? You think we're going to leave and come over there? Nah, it don't work like that. The only reason why y'all want us over there is because you want what we have. You can see how powerful and great we are because you see and you watch us over there, idolizing us, worrying about what we're doing and how we're getting it done. And now you want us to come over there. But where were you while we struggled? After you sold our ancestors to the white man, how come you didn't want us to come over there then? How come your people didn't make a way to come and rescue us? But all of a sudden now, since we have overcome what you have did to us, since we had walked out of the lion's den after you cast us in, now you want us to come over there with you? Have you bumped your heads? Stay out of my comment section and stay away from us. We are not African and we're never coming there. It's Black American power forever.
You can hear the frustration and the pain in that message. And that's not just anger coming from nowhere. There is a long history behind why some Black Americans feel that way whenever Africans tells them to come back to Africa. To many Black Americans, that phrase, come back to Africa, does not feel like an invitation. It sometimes feels like someone dismissing their struggle in America. And at the same time, there are many Africans who say those words with good intentions, believing that they are welcoming their brothers and sisters home. What we are seeing online right now is two different perspectives colliding. On one side, you have some Black Americans who feel like Africa abandoned their ancestors and now suddenly they want them back. On the other side, you have Africans who believe they are showing love and reconnecting with the diaspora. But somewhere in the middle of all of this, misunderstandings are growing and emotions are getting stronger between these two communities. What I want us to do is to watch the next few clips and watch them carefully. Listen to what people in those clips are saying. Listen to the arguments, the feeling, the opinions that people are bringing into this conversation. And I will come back at the end and share my thoughts.
Don't go to Africa because Africa is dangerous. Aren't you getting tired of people saying that? I mean, I don't know why. It's like people that has never been to Africa before is always deeming Africa as being like this dangerous place. I mean, even though they have manipulated our mind for like the past decades about Africa and how Africa is so dangerous that as soon as you land, like somebody's going to fucking kidnap you. Do you not know that that stuff here happens here too in the USA? I'm sorry to say, but every time I go to Africa, I feel more safe in Africa than I do over here in the USA. I mean, the people are like super friendly over there. The ambience of the restaurants are like to die for. I mean, everybody is hustling and minding their own business. Stop listening to people when people tell you that Africa is dangerous and like they're gonna just take off with you as soon as you get there. Stop listening to people who has never been or traveled outside of their hometown, let alone outside of the country. Now, if you know me, I'm an international traveler and I take people over to Africa. And that's what I do for a living. I have also set up other successful businesses over in Africa, and I like to teach you how to make money as well. But first things first, you have to literally stop believing people when they tell you that Africa is this dangerous place, because Africa is so beautiful. The first time I went to Africa, I literally went alone, and I'm standing right here on this TikTok video today telling you how I went to Africa. So that literally proves how safe it is. If Africa was that dangerous, I literally would not be taking people over there to Africa. Trust me. People that say that Africa is dangerous, they probably haven't been watching the news over here in the USA lately. So stop believing what people say, because literally people would trick you out of traveling and have you stuck and stagnant just like them. So now is your sign to book that trip and go over to Africa and prove to people that Africa is not as dangerous as they think.
To say, y'all stop trying to go back to Africa, please. No, for real. A lot of them don't even like us. And you do know that we just won't just stolen from Africa, right? You have people that actually teach and believe that White folks just went into the villages and stole slaves and stole them, and then all of a sudden we were just brought over here. There's people that believe that, right? You can't be this ignorant, Lord Jesus Christ. There are people that believe that. No, our ancestors were prisoners of war that were sold by their own kind to the settlers. I don't want to go back to Africa because Africa betrayed my ancestors. Trying to go back to no darn Africa. Now, God bless Africa overall. I believe God is moving there. But I'm not trying to go back to no Africa. You kidding me? Africa betrayed me, betrayed my ancestors, right? I'm here in America, and I'm going to make the best of what I got going on here. Y'all fight to go back to Africa. You need to be fighting for America. You need to be fighting to make America better. You got to get back to your roots, man. Of God, you took our language, that same language that betrayed. I don't want to learn it. Now, there's certain things from Africa that will always be in us. Our rhythm, our dance, and all of that kind of stuff. Because that's where we come from. But I refuse to go back to something that betrayed me. Made my ancestors.
There's a difference between African and Black American. There's a difference. What's the difference?
We are very calm. They are always with temper.
Who?
I'm not calling names.
Say what you
Don't
say.
make me racist.
So it seems to me that there is always an African who is being manipulated by the Mzungu. All it took was a white man to ask him, are you guys different from Black Americans? We're so different. They have bad attitudes. You see how fast he went to that? Now, I would just like to know if this guy knows any Black Americans, right? Do you even know a Black American that has the attitude that you speak of? Probably not. You get what I'm saying? But these people are so easily manipulated. And mind you, I understand this is one individual. This guy, it's just him, right? But there's a diaspora war going on right now. One side says that. So this video caught my attention. I'm not going to blame all Africans, but this is what most of these people think, right? They don't even know us, right? They hear about us. They watch movies, the bad ones, right? They always got a Black person playing a negative character or a stereotype. So I understand that this is all they really see what Black Americans are. Music, movies, right? And then what the news say about us. We all know everything the news say about Blacks isn't true, right? So I came to this conclusion, man. All it takes is one Mzungu to go over there and start causing chaos. These people tap dance. We have a problem in America with Blacks tap dancing for massa. But my God, when the Mzungu's feet touch down on that African soil, you guys scream, holler, and black backflip for the Mzungu versus your own so-called brothers. Jesus Christ.
Do African people like African Americans? When people find out I spent the last 16 months in Africa, the common curiosity is, how are you treated by the locals? Now, the vast majority of my time has been split between two countries, the first being Tanzania and the second being Egypt. Now, there's a common belief held by people online that the real Africa is sub-Saharan, where people are going to be more so predominantly Black. Therefore, I'll focus my experience on my time in Tanzania, which is a sub-Saharan African country where it is predominantly Black-looking people. Alright, I can say honestly, there were a few people there that really did embrace me. But for the vast majority of people that I interacted with, I would say the word would be more so tolerated, which is one of the reasons I stayed far longer in Egypt than I did in Tanzania, because here I feel desired and appreciated. And if you're wondering what the split was, 6 months in Tanzania, 10 months in Egypt. Now, you may go to Tanzania and it may be perfect for you, or you may come to Egypt and it may be horrible for you. Therefore, do not let my experience determine where you do or don't go, but rather let it illustrate that everyone has a place for them on the continent, but you may have to bounce around to find it. And if you're interested in relocating to the continent of Africa, I have the ultimate African relocation guide linked in my bio.
You really can't convince me that Africans hate Black Americans. Most of the Africans hate Black Americans talk lives on social media. It lives online. Real life interaction show respect and connection. The internet exaggerates beef that regular people don't actually live by. And online beef looks serious, but regular people don't move like that in real life. Of course, these platforms are going to push content that makes it seem like Africans hate Black Americans and that Black Americans hate Africans. The elite doesn't want to see us united. So that's why we're going to have to take a step forward.
Stop falling for the trap. The African versus Black American beef is fake and it's funded and it's nowhere in real life. What's actually happening is we're being attacked by white people, white supremacists that run the state. We are being attacked by the American government. We're being attacked by European nations, and we're being divided that are getting online and telling us that our beef is with other people that look like us and other people of color that may not look like us but are not white. And they are selling us this so that we will not rise up against the mayonnaise Martians who actually enslaved us, who actually mass incarcerate us, who actually are pushing us out of jobs, who actually are taking our opportunities, who actually are colonizing Black nations, who sell us propaganda that we should be fighting other marginalized groups of people instead of fighting the people who are actually fighting us. And it's cowardly. White supremacists love this. Why? Because while we're fighting online, the real attacks keep coming in real life. It is divide and distract, and it's working. They don't want Black Americans linking arms with Black Africans. They don't want the diaspora united. They don't want us to have a swimming pool bigger than Kanye, because a united global Black movement could challenge the systems that are crushing all of us. From Washington to London to Johannesburg.
I know that there are bad apples in every group throughout the diaspora. Shout out to the FBAs. But when I went to Africa, South Africa, Johannesburg, got so much love. You know, Buti Wami, which is my brother, like, respect. They accepted me. They gave me a Zulu name, Kanya, which means the light. Look, I'm living it right now. I'm a living testament. It made me immediately see that that was a lie that America sells us to kind of create this division, right? And that's what they do. They conquer with divisiveness and fear. And so I immediately was like, no, that's not true. They love us. And ain't no they. We are one. We are them. We are African too. They say, look, you are African too. You just got on the ship. That's the only, some of us, you know, that's the only difference. The shit is the only difference that separates us. And so when you want to go to Africa, of course, do your research. Of course, it's good to know somebody. We can use these platforms. I have a group. If you want to join, DM me. That connects Black Americans with Africans throughout the diaspora. Or I'll say American Africans. Shout out to the Dr. Umar. But yeah, so it's something that they sell us to make us not want to go there, to deter us, and to create this unwarranted hatred that's a lie. And so I say to you, before you decide that someone hates you or something is bad, try it yourself. But you can just go outside and see that ain't true, right? And so you gotta stop allowing social media to program you and brainwash you into thinking that something is bad unless you absolutely tried it yourself. Stay blessed. Stay tuned for my journey. You know what it is. Peace from Khalees.
I think there's a lot of confusion online, and that confusion is starting to create unnecessary tension between people who actually should be standing together. Africans on the African continent do not hate Black Americans. Let me repeat that again so nobody misunderstands what I'm saying. Africans living in Africa do not hate Black Americans. Now, I know some people watching this might be surprised by that statement, especially if you spend a lot of time on internet, because if you go online, especially on social media, you will see some arguments between immigrants and Black Americans. You will see some disrespectful comments. You will see people talking down on Black Americans. But the truth is, that is not the reality of Africa. Most Africans in Africa actually admire Black Americans. And I can give you very simple examples that anyone who visited Africa can confirm. If you walk through cities in Africa, whether it is Lagos, Nairobi, Kigali, Accra, Johannesburg, or many other places, we see many young Africans dressing in styles that were influenced by Black American culture. You will hear music that is heavily influenced by Black American hip-hop and R&B. You will see people dancing the music created by Black American artists. You will see African kids wearing clothes of NBA players, many of whom are Black Americans. You will hear conversations about rappers, about basketball players, about American actors, about Black American entertainers. In many ways, Black American culture has had a huge influence across Africa. And influence usually comes from admiration. People don't imitate people they hate, they imitate people they respect. They imitate people they look up to. And there's the reality that many people online are ignoring. Now, let's talk about where some of the tension actually comes from. A lot of the negative comments that many of y'all Black Americans are seeing are not coming from people living in Africa. In times, they come from African immigrants living in Western countries, especially in the United States. And sometimes those immigrants arrive in America with misinformation. They were told certain things about Black Americans before they even arrived. Some of them were told that Black Americans are lazy. Some of them were told that Black Americans don't work hard. Some of them were told that Black Americans complain too much. Those narratives are not coming from Africa. They're narratives that were created by the Western media. So when some immigrants arrive in America, they repeat those narratives without actually understanding the full history of Black America. They don't understand the history of segregation. They don't understand the history of redlining. They don't understand systemic barriers that existed for generations. So sometimes they speak out of ignorance, not out of hatred. But again, that is not the mindset of an average African living in Africa. If you go to Africa today and ask people what they know about Black Americans, the first thing that they will usually mention are not negative things. They will talk about music, they will talk about Black Americans sport, they will talk about Black Americans movies, they will talk about Black Americans culture, they will talk about Black American rappers and R&B singers. Most of them know about the Black American athletes who are dominating in the NBA. Black Americans are known across Africa for being very expressive, very creative, and very influential in culture. That is the image that many of we Africans have. There are many Black Americans who have already moved to Africa. If you search online, you will find some of their stories. You will see many Black Americans living in Nairobi, Kenya. We see many Black Americans living in Johannesburg, many Black Americans living in Rwanda, Black Americans living in Tanzania. And when you listen to their stories, many of them are actually similar. They say they have found peace in Africa. They say they feel welcomed. They are respected. Many of them say that they feel the sense of belonging. In fact, some of them actually say that they will not go back to America. Not because America is a bad country, but because they discovered something in Africa that they had never experienced before. They discovered a different pace of life. They discovered a sense of community. They discovered people who welcomed them with open arms. Of course, Africa is not perfect. There are many challenges in Africa like there are in other parts of the world. There are some unsafe cities in Africa. There are economic struggles in some regions. But that is not unique to Africa. Every continent has its own problems. America has problems. Europe has problems. Asia has its own problems. So when people try to create this narrative that Africans hate Black Americans, that is not true. And honestly, it is a dangerous narrative because it creates division where there should be unity. Africans and Black Americans should be learning from each other. They should be supporting each other. We need understanding between these two communities. We need communication. And what we need to reject are those false narratives that are circulating online. And most Africans actually see Black Americans as family. And I want to hear Africans in the comment section confirming that what I said are true. And that was it for today. Make sure that you like the video. Drop your comments in the comment section. And subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. Mr. TA signing off. Ciao.